Welcome to Manifest Daily, the podcast where we embrace the messy, beautiful journey of self-discovery and constant evolution. I'm Dheandra Nicolette, podcaster, dreamer, and your partner in navigating life's transitions. Together, we'll explore personal growth, creative reinvention, astrology, and navigating life's unknowns. This is your space to evolve boldly, embrace change, and manifest a life that feels true to you. Let's dive in, my loves. It's time to create the next chapter together. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Dheandra Nicolette, and I hope you are having a beautiful Tuesday. If you're listening to this episode live on the date that it comes out, then happy Tuesday. If you're listening to this on any other given day, then happy whatever day it is. So I'm excited for this episode, as I always say. I should add that to the intro at this point because I literally am always excited for these episodes. But today's episode is a bit of a wake-up call. And it's not just for you, but it's also for me too, because we are talking about what it means or what it feels like, rather, to play it safe, to stay small, and how that essentially forces you into a position where you are betraying yourself and betraying your potential. When you stay small, when you shrink yourself down so that you don't ruffle proverbial feathers, when you dim your light so that others don't feel uncomfortable around you, when you stay in familiar settings and environments and relationships, even when it's literally suffocating you, killing you, taking the life from you just because it feels safe due to the fact that it's familiar and you feel comfortable. This is you playing it safe, and this is you betraying your potential. So we're going to talk about this a bit more today. I feel like for some of y'all, I might very well come for your soul, come for your life. It might feel like a little bit of tough love. I'm delivering this message with a little bit of a calmer energy today. So maybe you won't feel as much of like that soul snatching tough love energy, but grab yourself a glass of water, perhaps with a squeeze of lemon in it today. Maybe a little bit of lemon zest too. If you want to get crazy, just put the whole lemon in there, girl. Matter of fact, don't even just do juice. Put the whole lemon in there, seeds and all. Yeah, that's the type of energy we on today. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode. We've talked about this in other episodes in different ways, but I've mentioned the way that playing it safe can almost seem like a really smart and logical thing to do. When we talk about playing it safe, it doesn't always show up as you believing that you're living a mediocre life. It doesn't always show up as you believing that you are people pleasing, or that you are afraid of being seen, or that you are afraid of change. Sometimes it simply looks and feels like, okay, well, this is the smart decision. This is the smart job choice. This is the smart school to attend. This is the smart relationship to enter into. There's almost this sense of checking things off of a to-do list. Like, you guys have heard people talk about like certain relationships. I've heard this before. Like, I remember I've had different conversations with friends where they would talk about sometimes like these potential partners that just seemed perfect on paper. It was like they had these different things that you could go through, like a literal checklist, and be like, okay, he's tall, he comes from a good family, he has a good job, but something about the person would feel off, like something just wouldn't sit right with their soul. I think there are a lot of different situations in life where we encounter these sort of perfect on paper things, whether it is the person for a potential relationship, or whether it is the job or the school or whatever. Even though we know something about it is off, it's just not sitting right with our soul, we move ahead. We move ahead because it, to other people and even to ourselves, seems like it's the right thing to do. In moving ahead in these particular choices, making these particular choices and moving ahead with these relationships or jobs or whatever the case is, we are essentially betraying ourselves, because this is us saying that we are afraid. We're afraid of what it looks like if we were to say, you know what, this thing that looks perfect on paper actually for some reason isn't right for me. And I'm going to choose to pursue something that maybe isn't so safe, but would really feel more aligned with my soul. Fear isn't always loud and dramatic. I think a lot of times we think about fear and we think about the ways that it can show up in our lives, and we think about the ways that it can stop us from living our best lives and fulfilling the dreams that we have. And yeah, sometimes it is, dramatic and loud, and sometimes it does show up as the trauma or the things in our lives that are very obvious for us to look at and say, that's fear, that's self-sabotage, that's something really negative. But sometimes it also shows up wrapped in logic. It shows up as, I'm just being realistic. It shows up as the 5-year plan at the corporate job that is literally killing your soul. It shows up as entering into the relationship with a perfect on paper partner that you have no chemistry with, that you low-key don't even like. It's fear telling you to stick to this plan because it makes sense. But deep down, your potential and what you want, what you're capable of having, what you're capable of doing is literally screaming at you. And I want to share something with you today because I think that some of y'all, especially if you clicked on this episode today, need to hear this message that playing it safe is not going to protect you from failure. Y'all know when you have those days where everything just feels so difficult and you can't figure out what is going on? I have absolutely been there. In fact, y'all know, or maybe you don't know, but I feel like I've been there more in the recent months, and I absolutely understand how frustrating that can be. Recently, I've learned that sometimes it's not just stress or lack of sleep that's affecting you, but it could actually be your hormones that are at play. That's where Happy Mammoth comes in. They offer a free 2-minute quiz that can help you uncover the root cause of your hormonal symptoms. It's super easy. You literally answer a few questions about what you're going through and where you're at in life. And the best part is that after you take the quiz, you get this personalized recommendation to help you figure out how you can balance your hormones and start feeling better. So I took the quiz recently and it gave me some personalized insights into what might be happening with my body and my hormones. And Happy Mammoth actually recommended a product that can help me with some of the things that I'm struggling with. One of the recommendations that I got was to start taking Hormone Happy, which helps with bloating, chronic fatigue, weight gain, mood swings, and more. So Happy Mammoth is dedicated to making women's lives easier, and that means that they're using science-backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They make no compromises when it comes to quality, and it shows. They offer a range of products that are designed to help you feel like yourself again, and with personalized recommendations from the quiz, you know exactly where you need to start. If you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with my code ManifestDaily at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code ManifestDaily for 15% off today. I think we believe that somewhere down the line, that if we do everything right, that if we people please, that if we fit all of our life neatly into these compartmentalized boxes that just make sense, then we can't get it wrong. Then we won't get fired. We won't get laid off. We won't have to have a divorce. We won't raise our kids incorrectly, quote unquote, right? But playing it safe is not the thing that's going to guarantee your happiness. Playing it safe is not the thing that's going to lead you to your purpose. All it does is delay what is inevitable, because there's going to come a day, whether it's like weeks from now, months from now, years from now, decades from now, where you wake up and you ask yourself, what if I had just decided to not play it safe? What if I decided to leave that job that was literally sucking the life out of me and launch the business that I have been dreaming of launching for years? What if I decided to leave that relationship that really wasn't aligned with me and actually maybe believe that I could call in one that is? What if I decided to stop hiding my gifts because I was scared that I wouldn't be good enough? Or what if I actually decided to trust the potential that deep down I know I have? Because I think we've all been conditioned to think that safety is success. And I won't even lie to y'all, I believe it too. And I believe it to a degree because I do think there's something really valid about stability. There's something really valid about feeling like there is a certain thing that you can expect day in and day out. But I also think it's important to understand that there's no true thing in this life that never changes. So whether it's, again, the job, the relationship, yourself, your life circumstances, it all changes. The only thing that we can expect in life is change. And in that, there is a level of understanding that the idea of stability as we know it, right? Because I think we also kind of equate stability with this expectation that things don't change. We can go to this, go through these routines and it doesn't change. We can go through our days and the way that we relate to other people, it doesn't really change. But that's not true, because change is the only constant. So in some ways, what we believe to be stable is kind of like a lie. You know what I mean? Growth is change, or growth means change. And if you look at it that way, then growth also means in some ways rejecting this idea of stability in certain chapters of your life. Because there are going to be certain chapters where you're in a routine and it's boring. And, I talked about that in an episode, right? But there are also going to be chapters of your life where you are growing and things are rapidly changing and it doesn't feel safe and it doesn't feel stable and it feels really scary. But that is you becoming more of the person that you were always meant to be, because you're you now and you're supposed to be in this moment now. You're supposed to be this person here, but there are also parts of you that need to come out of their shell, that need to evolve, that need to have the ability to shine. And in doing so, they have to go through this moment, this season, this period of growth. Becoming who you're meant to be in any chapter or season requires risk, because it requires shedding an old version of yourself. Also, my loves, I don't know what's going on in my house right now. I'm hearing noises through my headphones, so I hope you're not picking up on that. I think the mic is not picking up on that, but just if you hear that, that's what's happening in the background. I don't know. Okay, you and I are both confused. But growth and growth requires shedding that old version of yourself, and that's terrifying. But it's also the only way forward. Like, you can't avoid it. You know what I mean? You can't manifest your dream life while you're sat clinging on to your comfort zone and like the person that you always were and the things that you've always known. You can't call in abundance when you are holding on to a very familiar scarcity mindset, very familiar scarcity beliefs that you grew up with, very familiar, fears of what is and what is not possible for you. You can't claim a life of just everything that you've ever wanted, a life meant for your highest self, if you're sitting here playing small for the sake of being liked, or for the sake of feeling stable, or for the sake of being predictable, or for the sake of being palatable. So if you have been sitting here praying for, waiting for a sign to stop playing it safe, to wake up, to actually allow yourself to lean into and explore this potential, then this is your sign. If you need permission to disrupt your comfort zone, to break free from your comfort zone prison, this is your sign. If you've been waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want more than just this, it's okay to become more, then this is me telling you, baby, go. It's go time. It's go time. Run toward that thing. Run towards those things, right? Whatever it is, if it's scary but feels expansive and soul stretching and it feels exciting and it feels like something that you want to explore, then please, I beg you to do it. And this isn't a guarantee that it works out. Or I guess, you know what? I'm going to say it is. But I want to give the caveat that it's not a guarantee that it works out in the way that you think it will. I'll say that because I believe it always works out. Okay. Call it toxic positivity, call it delusion, baby, call whatever you want. But I know life is always working for me. God is always working for me, period. Okay. I believe it always works out, but it just doesn't always work out in the way that you think it will. You feel me? So sometimes it's like you go into a thing and you're like, oh, it's going to take this particular linear path. And then the path is zigzagging all over the place, girl. And you are confused, honey. But guess what? It's working out exactly as it was supposed to. Okay. I want you to ask yourself what you would do if fear wasn't stopping you. Because this isn't about not feeling the fear. Like, what's that quote? They're like, feel the fear and do it anyways. Yeah. Because fear is an emotion and it's going to come up. It's going to come up. But this isn't about letting your fear stop you, especially if you're feeling so drawn and so called to try something. This is about allowing that fear to be there, but allowing yourself to be courageous enough to feel it, but still pursue what is lighting your soul up. This is about taking imperfect steps towards whatever that vision is, because there are no perfect steps and you're going to stumble and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to falter, but that's also part of your journey. This is about allowing yourself to say to yourself daily that you trust yourself. You choose growth over safety. You choose growth over predictable. You choose growth over palatable. You are here to expand and it's safe for you to expand. Okay. You have one life that you're remembering right now, because again, I do believe in multiple lives. Okay. And, in this life, you are going to expand. There are so many different versions of yourself that you haven't met yet. And that when you meet them, you will be so excited to meet them. Even the versions of you that will have to manifest in times of difficulty, because they're going to show you just how strong you are, just how much you can handle, and just how powerful you are as well. But there is a requirement that you choose to show up for those versions of yourself. And you can't do that when you're playing it safe, when you are choosing to remain in positions of familiarity and comfort for the sake of avoiding growth. This is about choosing the unknown over the guaranteed mediocre. This is about choosing the messy leaps and the messy starts and the messy environments that force you to figure it out versus the tidy boxes where everything seems to be put together in a way that makes sense, but also makes you incredibly uncomfortable. This is about choosing your potential, even when it's really scary, because the real betrayal is waking up years from now, decades from now, and regretting never giving yourself an actual chance. My loves, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a 5-star review, share it with a friend or someone else that you think may enjoy and need this message today. And I will chat with you in the very next episode. Have a beautiful, amazing, and powerfully blessed day. Bye-bye.